What's up guys, that really gross guy here. We are back, and today I'm going to do a quick tutorial video for you guys on how to get your hands on a Vasca Kavat, or a vampire kitty, which is what it's typically referred to as. And this video I'm going to assume that you are already familiar with how to get your hands on the regular Kavat, because there is just so much information that I would have to go over if I was doing a how to get a Kavat guide and then get your hands on a Vasca Kavat guide, because this goes all the way back to the new player experience, doing the Howl of the Kubro, getting the resources you need for that, then creating your Kubro, getting the power segment in order to create Kavat, then to go through and get your first Kavat, then take your first Kavat and get it infected to make your Vasca Kavat. So the idea is, if you do not know how to get your hands on your very first Kavat whatsoever, I am going to point you to the corner of the screen with the card to take a look at my guide previously on how to get your hands on a regular Kavat. The only small discrepancy with that video is because it was filmed previously before there were some small implementations with the companion system. What you'll need to know is that you don't need a stasis slot anymore. You will have companion slots that you use with your sentinels and all that stuff. You're going to share those now with your cats and kubros. So that's something to note. And the other thing to note is, instead of the derelict, we are now going to be going to Deimos, because the derelict has been replaced by Deimos. The nodes are all still there. They're still basically the same thing. You would do a capture or an exterminate or whatever you see fit in order to actually scan the Kavat for your genetic codes. So pretty much everything else is the same. You're going to need to get your hands on your first Kavat first and foremost, and that video will show you how to go about doing that. Of course, if you really wanted to, you could go into the market and purchase everything you need, not just for your very first Kavat, but you could also fast track pretty much this entire thing and get your hands on the Vasca Kavat starter kit, which will give you the 2 imprints that you need. Just straight up give you the 2 imprints that you need, so you don't even need to go through the process of getting your Kavat infected twice. And technically it means you don't even have to have a Kavat before you do this process. So it'll give you the genetic code template just in case you would like to use it in the future. It'll give you a power core that you need for each of your Kavats or your Kubros. It'll also give you the 10 genetic codes that are required to make a Kavat in general. So that's a way to fast track this entire process. But what I'm going to do is show you how specifically you're going to go about doing this process. So first and foremost, your genetic codes. Like I said in the previous video, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the derelict or Deimos. You're going to run those missions, find these Kavats throughout the mission, and you're going to have to scan them. I'd suggest just keeping your scanner out pretty much the entire time and trying to find these guys. It makes things a lot easier. And when you scan them, you have a 25% chance of getting one of the genetic codes. You also can run a resource booster to double this, so that you would then have have 2 every time you get a successful drop or a scan for these. That is a great way to go about doing it. If you have a Samhita Kavat as well, if you get the charm ability, that will give you the resource drop rate boost, or drop chance boost, whatever. That will also help you get these faster. Just a suggestion if you already have a Samhita Kavat, but that's really not necessary, but it will kind of make things faster. Of course, once that is done, you make your very first Kavat. If you already have a Kavat, then you just take these imprints and you set these available for your, or these genetic codes, you have these available for your Vasca Kavat. The next step you're going to do is take your Kavat into the plains of Eidolon at night. This is where the Vasca Kavats live, and they come out at night to hunt and are not available during the day. So your goal is to find these Vasca Kavats. Once again, the scanner makes this very, very easy to find these guys. You can also scan these guys for your, your information. You can also tranquilize these guys. Well, hold off on the tranquilizing. First and foremost, you need this Vasca Kavat to bite your current Kavat and infect it. This is going to give you the DNA, I suppose, that is going to be required to make your Vasca Kavat. Then after your Kavat is bitten and has changed color, I believe it is a red color that shows that your Kavat has been bitten, you could trank one of these guys and get it for a little bit of standing with Cetus. So that is my suggestion. Then you're going to want to head back to your Lisette, and you're going to want to use one of your empty templates on your Kavat. This is going to basically retrieve the DNA that the Vasca Kavat for the Vasca Kavat, and it's going to actually cure your Kavat of the infection. You can technically cure your Kavat with a curative that is given to you by one of the shop people at Cetus. However, you have to have one of these imprints in order to make a Vasca Kavat. You can't use the curative. You can only get a template from the same Kavat 3 times before you have to take the imprints off of a brand new Kavat. Keep that in mind. So you can only do it 3 times per Kavat. However, to make this happen, you only need 2. Now you need to basically, I guess you need to do this a second time because you do need a second imprint. So go out to the plains of Eidolon, get your Kavat bitten once again, and create your second imprint for your Vasca Kavat. If you have 2 regular Kavats, you could, on the same day-night cycle on the plains of Eidolon, you could take one Kavat in, get it bitten, and then take the other Kavat in and get it bitten. That way you can do the templates back-to-back, make things a little bit quicker, just as a heads up. But once you have both of those imprints, you're going to need to come back to your Lisette, come over to your pet area. There's going to be the Kavat breeding section. You have the genetic codes, as long as you still have the 10 that you needed in order to create a brand new Vasca Kavat. There's that. The power core, which you are going to need. This is a blueprint you got from completing the Howl of the Kubro. You're going to need to create one of these, which requires an argon crystal. So just as a heads up, you want to get an argon crystal and utilize it before it goes away to create your power core. After that, as long as you have an open companion slot, you can then create your Vasca Kavat using those 2 imprints. You want to make sure you take the 2 imprints, you come over, you go and grab the Vasca Kavat imprint, and you grab the other Vasca Kavat imprint, and you take both of those and you combine the imprints to create that Vasca Kavat. So with all of that done, you should now be basically naming and raising your little baby kitty cat Vasca Vampire Kitty Kavat. So I hope this video did help. Sorry that I basically went right into the process of getting the Kavat from more of a relatively experienced player's point of view, just because this video would be another 6-7 minutes long if I showed you how to get it as a brand new player. Like I said, if you are a brand new player, I suggest my first video to get a Kavat, your very, very first Kavat, and then this video was just to kind of take you the next step to get your Vampire Kavat. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. I wish you the best of luck if you are going out and doing this now, and I hope you enjoy your little vampire kitty. Modding this Kavat appropriately will make this thing a pretty lovely companion, but does it beat a Smita if you're farming? Probably not, but you know, it has its uses. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope to see you guys again in another video. Blah.